Hi. Hello?
Hello? Can't hear you.
Can't, you can't hear me?
No.
What?
No, I can really.
Oh, you prat. Because you know I've got nothing.
I know. Where do you turn?
I genuinely I don't know what to do.
Your room looks lovely, dappled in.
I put some picture to go at me because in the Greg James photo I was just pitch black, basically. She said,
Oh, it's really pretty. It's like a streamer's bedroom now.
she said, put your lights on so people can see you.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, nice.
Talking of technical inability, I'm currently trying to help Lee's wife buy a car. Oh, fucking hell. I don't know what to do. I haven't got no.
Why don't you say I don't know what to do?
Yeah. The old honesty thing. Go down that avenue. You ever bought a car though? Like a second-hand shitty car? Well, not shit. Don't want to buy a shitty car.
Well, yeah, but no.
You don't know what to do either.
Nah.
Really
Sorry,
expensive.
I'm deleting files from my computer.
That's right. Second-hand cars are really expensive now. Apparently, because they can't buy. You can't get anyway. Who cares? They're expensive.
I certainly don't.
I know, because you're happily deleting files instead of listening to me. Dear. We have a guest today.
Yes, we do.
Hmm.
I went back and had a look. I was like, oh, I definitely watched that. Series. It's probably one of the last ones I watched. And I definitely watched Celebrity Big Brother because it was the Jim Davidson one.
Oh, was she in with Jim?
Yeah.
Fuck, who else was on that year then?
Lionel Blair. Dappy. Lee from...
Blue?
Yeah.
Oh, what a collection.
It was a really good one.
That's amazing. Big Brother 13. Yeah, let's have a look.
Long time ago, though.
So, Casey Batchelor, Dappy, Evander Holyfield.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Jasmine Waltz. I don't know who that is. Jim Davison, Lee Ryan, Linda Nolan, Lionel
she
Blair.
got a lot of stick for
Did
something.
she?
I don't know what.
Oh, I'll ask in a minute. Liz Jones. Who's Liz Jones? And Luisa Zissman, Ollie Locke.
Pardon? Louisa what?
Zissman? How do you pronounce it?
I love the way you try and cover up when you can't say a word.
There you go. How do you say it? Luisa Zissman. Oh, God. Once again, I'm on the back foot.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. I'm just.
Well, it's just a Z and I, double S and a man.
I think you're mentally more agile than me. That's what I find frustrating.
Do you? I don't think I am. When you've got a little Achilles heel, you're on it like a crow.
A crow's on Achilles heel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nibbling away with your beak.
I don't think I am as good as you as finding a flaw.
Oh, I think you are.
Oh, thank you.
No worries.
That's really nice.
Do you know, I want to go back to... So when... God, I can't remember his bloody name.
What, one of the contestants?
The producer came on, the show that I was sacked from.
Oh, Neil.
Neil Webster. You're on fire, mate. You want to listen back? Give yourself a pat on the back. You are absolutely crushing me for 30 minutes.
I think generally it was after that I've sort of lost. I feel.
Really?
Well, yeah. Well, I had a lot of ammo that day, didn't I? It wasn't hard.
Yeah, my God, you made the most of it.
Does it like revel?
Yeah.
I probably. Oh, okay.
Fucking right. Yeah.
Okay. Apologies.
I feel like I'm on the front foot because I know at any point you can latch onto something. so you can sort of have a go. So I definitely feel like get the first punch in.
I feel the same.
Get him against the ropes.
But I feel like I don't want to do that because maybe we won't attack each other.
You do though.
I know.
If I don't say anything for 20 minutes, you will say something.
Okay.
So unless I get, that's why I have to give you a couple of rabbit punches.
Okay, healthy.
There's no way you can go half hour. If I'm all right, I'll be.
So you give me a couple of jabs early on just to keep me in check.
Just to
keep me at arm's length.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly it. Because I know what you like.
Quite tragic. I'm sort of pleased you feel like you need to do that. I don't know why. I feel like it's sort
sad
of
though, isn't it?
I know it really is. I felt slightly better about myself, which is a lot about me.
I don't think you can go half an hour without having a go at something. So as long as I sort of, daze you a bit with a couple of jabs to the chin. I
was watching loads of boxing videos last night. Don't know why.
I trained to Rocky this morning.
Oh, did you?
It's really gay. It really is. I was watching the Apollo Creed. It's all about the muscles, and they're all oiled up. And there's a bit where they're sort of doing the boxing, the movements around the ring. And Apollo's, they're by a mirror. And Rocky's trying to get quick on his feet, and Apollo's right behind him, sort of mirroring his. It's like, I would say, 6 inches from his ass.
And then to cover it all up, they hit each other.
Yeah, and
they are shiny, aren't they?
They're really shiny.
God,
they're really shiny.
Why are they shiny? Why would they want to make them?
It's
is it meant to look like
sexy.
Sweat?
Yeah, there's the bit where they're racing along the beach.
What one is this?
Rocky 3.
Rocky 3. Oh, they're mates in 3, aren't they?
Yeah, and Rocky eventually beats him. He gains speed. I teared up again. And I was like, why am I tearing up? And I think I worked it out. Watching someone trying when ultimately it's meaningless because we're all going to die.
Yeah.
But it's still showing, it's admirable. And then his best mate's helping him at the same time. He's helping him through this difficult...
It's lovely.
But it is lovely. But I think at the core of it, I can't help but think, but you're going to die. So what's the point?
You may have added that extra layer. I've been getting like that with Friday Night Lights.
I thought you say Friday night dinner.
Friday night, when that dog dies. Friday Night Lights just does that like that. It's sort of like
great.
When someone, because you go on a bit of a roller coaster, and someone does something nice for someone who's not used to having something nice done for them. And I like that. I think because I'm sat on my own a lot of the moment because Petra's in there. I think I'm probably slightly more vulnerable this week.
Right, okay. Who's Louisa?
You nervous? I am.
Yeah, I am nervous. I'm always nervous.
It's new people, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I am nervous. I'm always nervous.
I need belched. That's terrible.
I need a wee. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Louis.
Yeah, all right, good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Thank you for coming on.
No worries. Do you know what? Normally I get up at 6 every day and go to the gym. And I was so tired this morning, I was like, I can't be bothered. And then luckily, I went back to sleep, and luckily I woke up in time to do
that. Wow, thanks very much.
Yeah,
you get up at 6 every morning to go to the gym.
Yeah, I know. Like,
I did that this morning. But that's the first morning I've ever done that. It's not every morning.
Makes you feel good though, doesn't it?
Well, look at me. I look and feel fantastic.
You can see him usually. Absolute mess. Did you?
How do you do it? How do you? Sorry, Joe. Sorry.
No. I was going to ask the same thing. How do you have the get up to do
energy.
That? Yeah. Are you tired by 7:30?
Yeah.
No, I'm tired. I'm tired by 3 o'clock. By 3 p.m. No, I don't know. I just always do it. I've always been quite an early riser. Feels good though. Have you ever read that 5 a.m. club? You know, all those people get up at 5 a.m. and then apparently it's like revolutionizes your life.
Yeah, but I'm shattered by it. Like Joe said, 7:45 if I do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I've got a little sofa in here.
Oh,
I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I was leaning on it with some weights.
oh no, I don't
and
want
I
to
felt
know.
like a real prat.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
Yeah,
thought my neighbours are sort of watching.
you're quite exposed out the front as well, aren't you? Can't people
Yeah.
see if they come up the drives?
I think they probably do.
Have you heard about Mark Wahlberg's training regime?
I've
You know,
read about this.
it's insane. He gets up at 2:30
Yeah.
every
No,
day.
I don't buy that.
I don't believe that either.
No.
I don't.
No.
I think he probably did it once or twice and then talked about it
He's
forever.
got a lovely physique though.
Yeah.
Maybe he
You've
does
got-
do it.
Yeah.
You've got to work hard at that. Oh.
How long have we got you for, Louisa? Is it like 20 minutes or so?
Do you know what? My call at 9:30. Normally every Thursday at 9:30 I have a call. I'm renovating my house, and I don't think it's going ahead now because I think
Oh.
my
What you
designers are somewhere, so I can be
what
a
you
little
doing on
bit
the
more
house?
How are you
flexible.
going to get out of the podcast? Then?
Yeah. You need an out. You should get Sam to basically call you regardless, and then you can either take it or ignore it. And
Yeah.
it's nice to have a panic button. I'm out.
Excellent.
Do you know we've had
Eject.
about 9 or 10 guests, and I think that at least 3 or 4 of them said, "Okay, I've got to go now."
So we will not be offended if you could go one better and just press out.
Yeah.
Just end the
Just
call.
drop off.
At any
Yeah.
point, just do that. Just when you've had enough, don't
Okay.
say goodbye. Just press the.
Please do that.
That'd be really good. Just press the leave button.
Uh,
That'd be amazing.
do you
What
mind
else?
us talking about like Big Brother and Apprentice and stuff?
No, that's fine.
Because we
Don't
love
worry. If
we
I
love
mind you
behind
talking about anything, I'll tell you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We just love behind the curtains, knowing about how it
yeah.
all works, basically.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
did you
the
have
nosy.
when you went into The Apprentice? I think
Yeah.
it was the last series I watched.
It was series 9. Yeah,
Yeah.
series 9. My
2013. Was it?
Yeah.
When you went in there, did you have a couple of businesses?
Yeah. Yeah, I
did?
did.
So did you want to win the prize money? Or were you like, I can't be arsed all that. I just want to do
No,
The Apprentice.
I wanted to. Well, when I did it, you didn't really get much out of it other than winning back then.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't
Oh.
really any fame or. Do you know what I mean? Like there was,
right.
because really, I think when I did it, no one was really from The Apprentice that was in the public eye except for Katie Hopkins.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
if you. Sarah Connor, I'd actually never watched The Apprentice. So the reason why I did The Apprentice is because I was married at the time. I got married when I was really young, and all of my businesses, although they weren't mine, were linked with my ex-husband, and
Right.
we were kind of like breaking up. And he had applied to be on The Apprentice 5 times, and he like never got on. He was just like really like wanted to be on TV, and so I thought. I was like, I'm just going to apply just to like annoy him.
That's
and then I got in.
That's the best reason to go on anything I've ever heard.
And then I didn't tell anyone, and we'd broken up. And then, but we're still kind of living together. We were quite amicable, really. But there were a couple of things that he'd done. Notably had an affair that would like annoyed me a bit, and anyway, so I'd applied, got on, and then we still went on this like family holiday to America. Someone's getting married, and then we came back, and I said, "Oh, just to let you know that next week, I'm going into The Apprentice," and he was like, "You what?" And I said, "Yeah, I just applied," and it was quite a lengthy, actually. Like you wouldn't think it, looking at the people that are on there. It's quite a lengthy process to actually go from applying to being selected to be on the show. So it's been going on for about 3 months, this process. And anyway, we had a daughter, she was 2, and my mum was living abroad, and he wasn't that good at looking after her. And so my mum came and took my little one and took her back to Cyprus where she was living. And then that was it. I just went in, and then the rest is kind of history. But I went in to win it because I wanted to win the money so that I could separate myself financially from him.
Yeah.
What was the money? What is the money?
It's 250 grand. But then you give away 50% of your business and you've got Lord Sugar as a business partner, which some people think is amazing. Other people, but by the time that I'd met him and been through the process, I was happy to not win.
Yeah, what's he?
Really?
What's he like? Because he looks hard work. Is he?
Hang on a minute. This is a nice little subject, Lord Sugar.
Yeah.
Do you know
right. Can I ask one thing that I really? What is the whole Sir Alan thing? Because that, like everyone says, are you sort of told to say?
Well, it's Lord Sugar now, because when it first started, he was Sir Alan, and then he got. What do you do to be a lord? I don't know. And then he got some other shit from the Queen or whoever gives it out, and he became. Sorry, I swore.
No, this is wonderful.
No, not at all.
This is exactly what I want. Exactly.
Then he became Lord Sugar. So you call him Lord Sugar, but in all honesty, you don't have a lot of interaction off screen.
Oh, I was going to ask that.
Oh, really?
I thought he's not cracking jokes when the cameras are off.
No, only when the cameras are on. Yeah.
And so, does he just disappear between takes and things? Is he just not about?
Yeah, he just walks in, does his bit, walks out. So your interaction is so limited, and people say, "Oh, what's he like?" And honestly, like, I don't really know, because what you see, I saw, and sometimes when the camera's off, and if the crew were taking a long time, he'd be like, "We just fucking get on with it."
Oh, right.
So he is a bit like, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if he's like that, because we were all there and they try and immerse you in this. Yeah, and so even though the cameras are off and he behaves like that, it's still sort of, you're still a bit like, oh, and intimidated by it. So I don't know, but look, I've got friends that have won and that speak really highly of him. So
right.
Not interested in them. We want.
He's obviously a really, really bright, successful guy. Personally, I'm happy I didn't win. I think we would have clashed trying to work together, because if you look back at all the winners, they fit into a set, when you choose people to work with you and you're as successful as him, you kind of want them to almost work for you, don't you? So you want to be able to mold someone, like anything, into what you want. So you can kind of engineer it. And actually, interestingly, the ones that he's picked that have won that probably didn't go with that mold, he's then exited business, like Joseph Valente. He was kind of a big character that their business is now over and they've separated. So I don't know. Well, it works well for a lot of people, but for me, I'm too much of a rogue.
You say what you think. You've already had a dig at the Queen.
I like the Queen. I like the Queen, but
fantastic.
They all get dished out, all those things, don't they?
Well, the thing is, it obviously you didn't spend much time with him, but sometimes, like when they get, because I was watching some stuff last night, and they sort of critique you, and it's all just their opinion. You know what I mean? How close are you to saying, "Oh, fuck off"?
Oh, so close.
Yeah, you're not going to do that on camera.
But you're not going to do that.
It's wonderful telly, though.
But they would never put that in. They would never, because the whole structure, the narrative of the show is that the candidates are always these little plebs, and then you've got Karen, and when I did it, it was Nick, and then you've got Lord Sugar, all high and mighty. So they're never going to put in the candidates ever being spicy back. And there were times in the boardroom where I was a bit no, you're completely wrong, but it never made it, obviously, because it doesn't fit the show.
Was it
in the boardroom? In the boardroom, it's a studio. It's not. Is it a studio? It's a set.
No, it's. I can't remember now. It's in Park Royal. You know where that it the Tesla garage? As you go up there. I mean,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
As you go up the A40, and on the left there's Tesla garage.
I do know it.
It was there, and I do think it was a studio.
Yeah.
I remember. But
So when he comes through the doors,
David, you're obsessed with the logistics of sex, aren't you? It's unbelievable. We've had David. We have people sort of involved in EastEnders and stuff, and David's going.
I love it.
When he comes out of that door, what do you see exactly? And you can see him go.
Hey, come on. When he comes through the doors, what's behind the doors, please?
I don't know.
It's because it's sort of it's a misty. It's not. It feels like a shower. It's obviously not a shower. But
It doesn't come straight out the shower. Powering himself down.
But are you crapping yourself when he comes through? You're like, oh God, here he comes.
Look, I think definitely you're crapping yourself for the first, 5 times that you go in a boardroom, and then as the show goes on, and you start to think, oh, maybe I'm here to stay, and I started to realise that actually the other people were idiots, and I was just like, oh my God, they literally just have no clue. And because I kind of went in thinking, oh, I'd be like a bit of a, and I am quite fun and I'm quite lively and I say what I think. And sometimes that can come across as like that I am a bit stupid. And I guess when I was younger, it was nearly 10 years ago, I quite liked to play dumb a bit because I just liked people to have no expectations of me. And then I always could blow them out the water a little bit. It was kind of my tactic. And I definitely did that in The Apprentice. So all the other candidates, especially the men, I mean, now I just think back at all this, sexism and all this stuff that we talk about now, and what some of the men and the candidates were like, oh, who the fuck, really kind of quite down on me.
Right.
And then when they all started to get fired, I was like, see you later.
Yeah.
I think that as it goes on and you realise, oh, I'm kind of here to stay, then you really do want to win. And then the boardrooms, you start taking them maybe a little bit more seriously and you get that fire in your belly and the fight comes out in you.
I mean, did you make friends along the way and have to stick the knife in the boardroom? Or...
I did make friends along the way. And to be honest, I didn't really stick the knife into those ones. I think, look, you definitely fight at the end, but what happens is when you then make friends and alliances, and I can't remember being in a boardroom with a guy, Neil Clough, who I adored. Like, we just hated each other at first, and as the process went on, we really got on. And I just remember then me and Neil ganging up on whoever it was that we were trying to get fired. So it does become a little bit tactical between the candidates then.
Yeah. They can see. Margaret can see through that.
Margaret's gone, isn't she? She's been gone for you.
And Nick.
I love Nick.
When they're sat in the corner and you're doing your little side, are they actually taking notes? Or
yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, they take notes.
It looks so weird though. You're sort of like trying to get a florist to do something, and they're just with 2 clipboards. You're like.
Yeah, they're hiding behind some begonias.
Yeah, like clandestine in the corner. You're like, just stand near us if you want to.
That is so what it. But then sometimes you can read like the situation from their faces. So Karen's face is surprisingly quite readable. So she. Sorry. So
no, you're my favourite person
I'm
ever.
I'm a fan of Botox too. So I used to look at her, and I could almost see what she was thinking, and then sometimes I'd change tact so that tactically I then looked better on her nose. Yeah.
So some of them, did you get to spend a time with a bit of the sort of the Nick Hewers and Karen Brady? Were they all right? Because
they're all right, aren't they, Margaret and Nick?
They were all right. Well, I had Nick and Karen, and I loved Nick. Like Karen, I always felt like she held quite a lot back. She wasn't really that engaging.
You had
open.
Margaret. You had Margaret.
No, Karen.
I just looked back. I saw a video.
She interviewed
Margaret's
us.
grilling you. Ah, yeah. Sorry.
She came back for the interview, but Karen was on thingy. Yeah, so I had Claudine interview me, and that. I love Claude. I love him. I still talk to him on Twitter.
Do you?
I love him.
I loved
my interview with him. No, I loved my interview with him. And they found it quite hard, I think, to edit my interview with him to make it look like there was any kind of bad.
Just getting on.
I just really liked him. I really, really liked him. Yeah.
Oh, can I ask a question? You know when at the start of the episode you're all in your big house and
Yeah.
they go, Lord Sugar's on the phone, and are you all tired? Because I always watch that bit and go, oh, you must be so fucked off. It's like 4:45 in the morning. You're in the nice cosy beds.
Yeah.
Are you genuine?
It
Yeah, where is the
genuinely,
house?
people always ask as well, is it genuinely that time? Yes, it is genuinely that time. But what happens is, before they ring you, the crew come in and set up.
I was going to say, that's always the bit I feel for. They go, the cameramen and women have been up for an hour and a
That's
half
such
before.
a hard job,
so you're,
working on that show.
obviously
So,
you're up. They've
well,
set up.
they don't wake you up, right? They sneak
okay.
in to the house.
Oh my God!
And then,
Seriously?
and then you get woken up with a phone call. But in my series, our house was in Holborn. It's actually one of the only series where the house has been in proper central London. And obviously they had to pull up on the street. In our bedroom, the girls, there was 4 of us in one girl's bedroom. And I got on with 3 of the wait, I am one of the 3. No, there must have been 5 of us then. There was me, Lee and Natalie. Oh no, there was only 4. Me, Leah, Natalie, and Uzma. I hated Uzma. She was such a dick. And Leah and Natalie, I'm still really good friends with. Like, I saw Natalie yesterday. We're working on something together at the moment. She's got a really good business now, Style Cheat. Leah obviously won the series. She's got Dr. Leah clinics, and she's one of my best friends, bridesmaid at my next wedding.
Oh, wow.
So we're really close. We didn't like Uzma, so we got rid of her quite quickly. I think she went in week 4. And then we had this brilliant dorm of girls. And when the crew used to turn up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm such a light sleeper. I'd hear them. So I'd get the girls up and we'd get ready. We'd put all our makeup on. We'd do our hair and we'd have a shower. We'd put our pajamas back on and then we'd go back into bed looking really good. And we wouldn't tell anyone else. And then the phone would ring, which is why I'm normally the first one to answer the phone when you look back at my series. And I always look like, I'm like, morning. And then I'd take great pleasure in running around the house, waking everybody else up, and they'd look like shit.
Off the back of that, can I ask about Big Brother? My first question is, he's probably been asked this loads, but going to toilet for the first time, the build up to going to the toilet and then the relief. I'd be worried that I was being watched and filmed going to the toilet.
There's not cameras in the lab, is there?
And are you definitely sure that no one watched or filmed you going to the toilet?
Well,
so
I'm
my question is,
sure.
Do you want to repeat the question, David, for clarity?
Honestly, I look at that show
What's it
and
like
go,
pooing in Big Brother, basically?
I cannot imagine going, okay, yeah, I'm just going to head off into that room and do that. And I'm very comfortable with it. Like, what?
It was, do you know what? That's a really good question. I don't really remember, going to the toilet in there. The toilet was a great place though, because there were no cameras in there.
How do you know?
Microphones. No, because you can see the cameras in Big Brother.
Was there microphones?
They move. They follow
was there
you
microphones? There wasn't microphones in the lab, was there? Did you say?
No, I know. But obviously you wear a mic, and so if we wanted to go in and talk without cameras or sound, we'd go in the toilet and cover our mics with we'd go like that and go in there, and then they'd start yelling at you over the thing.
Start yelling at you?
Get up? Yeah, they'd be like,
really?
Louisa and whoever, get out of the toilet, la la la, put your microphones back on. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I can't imagine just sat there on the bog.
I don't really remember pooing in there, to be honest with you. Obviously I did. I was there for a month.
I have been aware of doing stuff with a mic on and then going for a wee or whatever and going, oh, some blokes was listening to that, having to go, oh no.
Don't you turn your mic off when you go to the toilet?
I don't know how to.
I've got a fantastic story about Sly Stallone and his mic, but I can't say it.
Why?
Why?
Well, I just can't.
Well, because you're mates with him.
Oh,
he doesn't listen to this.
He does. He's a massive Chatterbox fan.
He's one of our first Chatterbiscuits.
Hang on a minute. I've got to drill into this toilet business because I'm not satisfied with
You're not satisfied?
No, because it would be such a stressful thing for me.
I don't think
Really?
you
Just
should
being
go
able
in.
to relax, knowing. Is it literally open the door, bog? Or is it
Well, yeah,
open the
it's
door,
like
corridor, open the door, corridor,
no,
The
open the door,
logistics of the
bog?
set
no,
again.
it literally is like, so in my house, it was just the house, like all open plan. And then
Yeah.
the toilet door was there. But then in the bedroom, there was another toilet. So it was only 2 toilets as well. And people were filthy. Oh.
Oh my
Do
God.
you know what? I would never do that show now. I don't know actually how I did it, how I slept in the same bedroom as all those people with Jim
That's my
Davidson snoring. Oh
Okay.
my
Yeah.
God.
That's my second question.
Hell.
Like sleep. Being able to relax enough to go to sleep, hearing people snore, breathe, fart,
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
in their sleep, getting up, shuffling. How do you do it?
I honestly, I actually don't know how I did that. I remember the first night I was handcuffed to Evander Holyfield. And,
Sure.
Okay, it's taken a while to get to that, haven't we?
like in a bed with him, and obviously
What?
he's huge. I mean, they would never do that now, would they? You know,
No.
they would never do that now. And that was only what 8 years, 7, 8 years
Was
ago.
that some sort of punishment?
No, when we first went into the house, it was just as soon as we walked in, we then got handcuffed to someone, and I
Jesus.
had no idea who he was. I'm not a
Oh,
boxing
really?
fan. I'm not into any kind of like.
Right.
You could literally put like footballers in front of me. The only one I'd recognise is David Beckham. Like I'm so useless. And I was like, "Oh, who are you then?" He was like, "Oh," and like I don't know if it's been punched in the head that many times, but I just was like, "I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry." Just couldn't understand him. And then like men, they're always like readjusting their bit. So he kept, and I was like, "Oh, this is not right." I literally then got out of the bed and slept on the floor. My hand was like this, still connected to his, as he was in the bed, and I was just on the floor. I don't know how I did it.
Honestly, I have
So
sort of.
weird.
I have real panics about what I would have done, and I'd be walking around the house at like 3 a.m. Just
Is there a point where your guard goes down there? Because I imagine to begin with, you're sort of like going,
Yeah.
"Oh, look, I'm being filmed all the time," but you can't stay
No,
on or
you
whatever.
can't.
So there's a point where you just go, "All right, I'm just gonna have to, like, just
relax." The only person who stayed on, I would say, was Jim Davison, and he ended up winning it. I just don't know how, and
It's mentally exhausting.
hated him, and then I got on with him after, and in the end I just thought, "Oh, do you know what? I've just got to breathe and let it go." Like he is just the way that he is.
So you think he was performing? Because I thought he came across as pretty gentle and understanding in there, and I was like, how much of this is an act? So do you feel?
I honestly feel like he treated that as a job, and that's it doesn't mean he wasn't. He was performing the whole time. Yeah, and maybe that was his experience in the showbiz world. Like that wasn't really my world.
Yeah,
I spoke to a couple of people about Celebrity The Jungle, Get Me Out of Here, and they said some people did that. They were just they said it was so exhausting to be around because you could never have like a genuine conversation because they were just on, and it's just like, well, I can't be near you.
Yeah.
Because you're basically performing, and it's like we're just eating now. Can't we just say,
relax?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was, and then when he did get, because I used to really try and wind him up, like really try. And when it did work, he wouldn't want to let himself go and be like completely annoyed. So he'd take himself off, and then he'd go all quiet. So you didn't ever see that on TV because it's boring to watch.
Right.
So instead of explode, whereas I'm obviously like really quite an explosive person, he would just be like really internally angry. And we had like this weird treehouse thing, and he'd like go in that and just stay in that for like 5 hours. I'd be like, "Is Jim all right?" Yeah, and then he'd obviously that would go, and he'd come back and be Jim again. But it was interesting tactic because he never really like went rah,
Okay. Yeah. I saw your little fight with Lionel Blair.
Oh my God, I can't believe he's died now. I thought he was Lionel Ritchie.
How dare you? How dare you?
How dare you? And then Lee Ryan.
What's that moment like when you're in a fight
With
and
Lionel
then you walk away from one another. Do you go, oh fuck, that's on the camera now? Oh fuck, or do you not
Blair.
care?
I've just made the headlines
just
of the
didn't-
newspapers, basically.
I just didn't. Well, because you don't really know like what the papers are saying, do you? And
No, that must
it
be so
wasn't.
weird.
I wasn't a celebrity, you know, when I went in there. I'd done The Apprentice. I came from a normal working, like I worked, I had a job, like I had to. So it wasn't really, I was so unaware of cameras and I think that's what made it so good, people watching me, because I didn't have any hang-ups or I didn't really know like the consequences of the arguments. I didn't really realize that these things I said could turn into a headline or that, you know, and also I didn't really know who anyone was. Like, I thought Lionel Blair was Lionel Ritchie. I was like, oh, my mum. It's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I just
yeah.
Lionel.
Well, yeah.
Did you?
I was
Exactly.
like,
How
oh,
many Lionels are there?
I was like, my
For how
mum loves your
long?
music. He was like,
How long did you think he was Lionel Ritchie for?
probably about 2 hours. And then I said to him, oh, my mum loves your music. And he was like, what? And then I was like, you know, and then I think I said, oh, I thought you were blind. Because is Lionel Richie blind?
No, that's Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, so that's what I
think wasn't
I
someone
thought he was
blind in
blind.
Lionel Richie's movie, in his music video, Hello? Wasn't they?
Yes,
wasn't he
yeah,
just
but
sort
there
of
was a
making it?
girl, and she's making a clay head
you
of his,
two-
which is
you two
bizarre.
know a lot.
Beyond the, so I can see why you thought that.
So
Yeah.
basically, I thought that he was
blind.
Lionel Ritchie, and I thought Lionel Ritchie was blind. And then he was like, no, I'm Lionel Blair. I think you're thinking of Lionel Richie, the singer, and Stevie Wonder mixed together. And I was like, oh.
Made it off the telly.
Right.
I don't know if that did actually. It was on the first night. It was on the first night.
Did you watch back? Did you go back and watch?
I watched some of it back, but not all of it. It's just, you know, when you've been in there for a month and then you come out and you have to get back to life and working. And it was weird because I had to go back to my business, but equally then I had all this press stuff and, you know, interviews and other opportunities. So I was so slapped when I came out of there. I watched bits back, but I just couldn't watch it all. You just can't. It's so much.
And when you come out, you obviously don't know how, because some people have come out and just obviously been booed or just basically had their life turned upside down. So you don't know. So you've seen that when you go in. When you come out, you don't know how. You must be shitting yourself going, am I going to be shouting?
Well, I was pretty sure. Well, I was pretty sure I'd be booed because I'd been up for eviction like every week, twice a week. Like, I'm so good at packing now because you have to pack your shit. I mean, honestly, I'm like now, I am the best packer ever. So I was always up for eviction. Like the housemates would always like nominate me for eviction. So I'd like done something or had an argument with someone. And it was just kind of easy to be like, well, Louisa did this, so let's just put her up. And I just got really used to that, to be honest. And then every week or every eviction, I kept staying. But I was like, oh, like people are obviously voting for me, which is why
that means the public like you. That means, yeah.
So
you sort of know.
You get a bit clued into that, and then obviously when other people leave, you hear the boos, and it's
you can hear it from the house.
You hear it from the house. They play sound into the house, but you can still hear it.
Oh my God!
And then what we started to hear as it went on, and this is how I knew that I'd kind of grown in popularity, was the little songs that I'd make up. The audience outside started singing.
Right.
Like Lord Lionel Blair. So we made that one up, and then we made another song up about Dappy's dick, and they were singing these songs outside, and I was like, oh, they must like me then. But I was fully expected to get booed as well, and it was a mix when I came out. I obviously only hear the cheers, so it was fine.
How did Dappy's dick song go?
Yeah.
Do you know what? No, I can't remember. I need to look it up.
Yeah, we will in a minute.
I can't. It'll be on YouTube. I can't remember the tune.
When you're in the house, if you fancied someone, can you imagine getting to the point where you're like, fuck the cameras, let's snog?
No, look, I was quite flirty in there, but I snogged that Jasmine. I snogged Jasmine in a hot tub. The girl. You? Yeah.
What?
Why am I googling Dappy's dick?
I can't. I'm just wondering if you get to the point where you're just like, I fancy you. I like you.
No.
I want to snog you.
Well,
I know
people
I'm
did.
live on Channel 4.
Look, I
They
wouldn't.
give you booze and stuff, don't they, occasionally? So that probably, sort of.
Alcohol.
They ply you.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
they literally. I
Oh, they
cannot tell
ply
you
you?
how hungry. They starve you, and then they ply you with alcohol. That's only how I slept in there. I was so hungry, and I don't eat. Like, I'm not a big eater anyway.
They
Like,
starve
I'm
you. What's the
pretty
point?
much vegan. I can live off chickpeas. All we had to eat was like chickpeas. I made so many recipes with chickpeas. I'm like, the chickpea queen. And you're so hungry, and then at night, all this alcohol comes in.
Oh my
So you
God,
get
boozing on an empty stomach, basically.
Yeah, so everyone gets drunk. They get all their great stuff for the cameras, and then you're drunk. You pass out, so you actually can sleep. And it's like Groundhog Day.
I bet I would have sort of got off with Lionel Blair or something. That would have been really weird. Fuck, what am I doing? It just feels so right.
I'm hungry,
Fucking hell.
Lionel.
I'm starving, Lionel, but I find you ravishing.
Oh my God, don't. Poor Lionel, God bless his soul.
Yeah, he's lovely. Yeah. Or Jim Davidson then. Give him a little
I don't know if I would get off with Jim
love
Davidson.
bite.
Don't think I would.
No.
Don't think I would.
No.
But there was like that Casey Bachelor got on with Lee Ryan, and then Lee Ryan got it on with that Jasmine. And
Oh, yeah.
so people, there was like
Queen
a little
was
love,
busy.
a little love triangle. So there was
And
that. But
yeah.
it's just, I don't know how genuine it all was.
I always look at that. When I watch Big Brother, I'm like, oh, I like that little sofa area. I like it when they get all cozy and have their late night chats.
Yeah, I like the late night
Yeah,
chats.
I like the late night sofa chats.
Yeah, because you have to put your feet up and your knees under your chin, don't you? And then you sort of put a blanket over you.
Exactly.
And you go like that. And you have to call everyone hum.
Yeah.
Hi,
Oh my God. What happened, Han? Yeah. And also the little outside bit was really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't smoke, but I did have to have a few cigarettes just so I felt like included in the smoking club outside.
Yeah.
So, that was fun. And we had
Has
a hot
anyone
tub
ever
as well.
had sex in the house?
I don't think.
I thought they had.
I don't think in the celebrity one, have they?
Oh, no,
right. Can you imagine? Jesus Christ. Oh dear, the stress.
The stress.
Well, there was like Lee Ryan and the girls. They were like getting it on a bit, but I don't think they fully had sex.
Right. It's mad, isn't it?
I've got a vision of one.
Just hear like the odd squelch.
Yeah. Trying to get to sleep.
Did someone do it in a tent? I feel like there's one where you can see their feet sticking out of a tent. I don't know if I've made that up.
Tent.
No, I know who had sex in there. Wasn't it in the normal? No, didn't she shove a bottle?
I beg your pardon.
She shoved a bottle up her vag, didn't she?
I don't know, but my internet history is going to go a bit weird.
We need to Google.
Yeah,
we need to Google. I'm sure she did. I'm sure one of them shoved a bottle.
I've already got on my saved.
And then I think that in the normal one, Stephen Good. Hold on, let me see. Sex Big Brother. I think he did shag.
Who?
Yeah. Who? Yeah. So in the normal Big Brother, and this was. So I went into the celebrity one, and then the team at Big Brother said to me, "Oh, will you come and work for us 3 days a week?" So I was then doing all their VTs and like interviewing all the next candidates to go in. And one of them was a guy called Stephen Good, who interestingly I still speak to now. And he owns a really good curtain and blind business called Shaving Specialist. And he's doing on my blind.
A bottle up his ass.
No, not him.
He hasn't managed to ever get it out, but he's got an incredible blinds company. Regardless of that.
He had sex. He had sex in there with a girl called Kimberly. They then went on to get married.
Stephen Cook.
Stephen
Good, like Good, Goode. There's a clip of them. We're dirty people. They're saying, "I love you too."
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
We're
Still,
dirty people.
They got together in the end.
Did they say we're dirty people?
Yeah, I just see it in a clip.
Oh wow. Stephen Good's Blinds
Company. bottle up.
It's a really good company.
Yeah. It's a really nice
good.
ass.
Very nice bottle.
No, it was Kinga. A girl called Kinga put the wine bottle
Kinga,
up
that's
there.
it. Kinga. Yeah. Oh, that
Kinga.
was a fantastic series. Yeah,
Stephen
Kinga.
Cook and King.
And Charlotte Crosby obviously wet the bed. I'm just reading.
What?
Yeah,
Did she?
Charlotte Crosby wet the bed. Yeah.
What in your episode? No, that wasn't in yours.
She wasn't in my one.
No, I didn't think she. Was there any controversy your
Evander
year?
didn't. Imagine Evander wetting the bed.
Yeah, Charlotte Crosby wet the bed. She wasn't bothered.
Wow. What? Just couldn't be arsed or pissed?
She was just pissed, wasn't she?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you have any controversy your year? Like anything that sort of hit the headlines?
Wasn't there a Nolan issue? A Linda Nolan?
Yeah, but what was? Oh yeah, and there was some kind of. I remember that, but my memory's so bad. I've got so many children now. But something historically, and someone had stolen money or something.
Right. Yeah.
And like Jim Davison, and I remember that.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
So basic, but Jim used me as a pawn in his game to like bust open that secret because he knew that I was so gobby, and he was like, "Well, ask Linda about who this person is." I can't remember. So anyway, I went up to Linda and I was like, "Who's so and so?" And she was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh,
I sort of remember. Yeah.
And then it was like Linda's husband or somebody Linda knew or someone quite close to Linda had stolen money and Jim, and I don't know. It was really like proper old school like showbiz shit.
Yeah.
So it's an old beef brought into the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, she hated Jim. A lot of history was there.
Oh, yeah, I bet the Nolans and Davison have crossed paths in a few different.
Yeah.
How do you think we'd get on with Jim Davidson? Do you think we'd get on well with Jim?
Yeah, look, in the end, I got on with him. I think as long as you know that he is like a chauvinistic male, and you kind of just go, do you know what? That's who he is. He's old. He's not going to change. And I do think he hands it up. Like, I remember having an argument with him about ironing, and I was like, I don't iron. He was like, what do you mean you don't iron? And I was like, I don't iron. I've never learnt to iron. I will never iron for a man. Like, I feel really strongly about that. And then when we had this task, and his wife came in, and she bought like 3 perfectly ironed shirts for him, like trotted out this clock and was like, "Here you go, darling." And I was like, "Oh, fuck off." Bloody silly housewife. But then my mum came in on the same task, and this is when I changed tact a bit with Jim, was because my mum came in and she was like, "Oh, like talking to me." We weren't allowed to talk back. And she went over to Jim and she gave Jim a kiss. And I was like, "Oh, mother is sending me a sign." So, yeah. So then
get off with Jim?
Well, no. More like, I think, get on with Jim. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, not get
the
off.
opposite of get off.
Because I want to get off with Jim.
Yeah. Bring Jim home.
Yeah.
Bring Jim to Cyprus for a holiday.
Yeah.
So
this has been amazing. I love it.
It was good though. It was a really good experience, and it was more boring. I preferred The Apprentice.
Would you do The Apprentice knowing what you know now? Would you do that again if they said, would you?
I'd love to, yeah. I'd love to do the celeb one, but Alan Sugar doesn't really like me, so that would not.
Oh, doesn't he?
It's because you mouthy at him, aren't you?
Because I'm mouthy. And do you know what else? You film 2 endings. Don't know if I should say that, actually.
Yeah.
I guess my contract might be expired now. But basically, you don't know who's won. So even though it's all pre-filmed, I didn't know that I'd won or lost until I think it aired on a Sunday or something, and I didn't know, or I found out on a Sunday and the episode aired on a Wednesday. So I only found out a few days before that I hadn't won because they film 2 endings because they don't want it to get leaked.
I've heard a few things like that, actually.
So you film 2 endings and you don't know who's won, and then the show airs, and honestly, like, as it then aired and all the press started coming out, there was just a lot that came out about me, and I knew that he wouldn't want me to work with him. And then you then go in for a meeting with him and like all his associates and like with your business plan. And because I kind of knew that I wasn't going to win, and also I already had my businesses, I'd kind of started the business already. And I remember him saying to me, well, I don't know what you want me for, you're already doing it. And I was like, yeah, I am.
Right.
And so I kind of then knew that I wasn't going to win. And I went to an angel investment company. And I said, look, as you know, I'm on Big Brother. I don't know if I've won or lost, but I'm pretty certain that I'm going to come runner up. I want to pitch for the investment with your company, but I only want to give 24% away. And I want the investment. So by the time the final airs, because there was so much press around me, which I didn't expect, but there was. So I was like, fuck it, I'll go with this. I said, by the time it airs, I want to have got the investment signed, sealed, delivered, and I can announce that on that night, which is what happened.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So I remember I like went into London. There were like Pats following me back in the day when they followed you. Now people tip them off. So I'd got like Pats walking into this office, and then I'd pitched for this investment, and I got the investment. And then so the night that the final aired, I was like, look guys, I haven't won, but don't worry, I've got investment with this company for the same amount. I've only given away 24%. Who's the actual winner? And then I had
and that's what I did. How did Alan react?
No, he wasn't happy. He wasn't happy about me that whole process, and he made that quite clear, like with several emails and stuff. Yeah. And he kept saying to me, you keep talking to the press. I was like, I'm not talking to the press, this isn't my world. Your stupid PR company that keep telling the press shit about me, because in the end they wrote so much about me. I befriended a journalist from the Sun, and I was like, you're actually ruining my life, like please stop. And I just remember calling this journalist, and I was like, you're literally destroying me. Like, I didn't know that this was going to happen. Stop writing things about me. Stuff you're writing is not true, or it's exaggerated. And in the end, I just went direct to this journo, and he was like, well, they keep, every time we ask them for a comment on something that someone's trying to sell us, they tell us everything, which gives us more ammunition to write. So I told him, Lord Sugar, that, and he was like, my PR aren't doing that. It got really shitty with me. So I was pretty certain that I hadn't won, but I never, genuinely, hand on heart, on my kids' eyes, I never spoke to the press until about 3 weeks from the final, where I was just sick of it. I was like, I actually can't go on like this. I found it really, really hard. And then in the end, I was like, well, I might as well just immerse myself fully in it. I'm like, fuck it, everything's been written that could be written about me. So why don't I just now earn some money off the back of it? And I remember then I negotiated the Sun, back in the day when newspapers paid you decent money for interviews. I did an exit interview with the Sun and got loads of money for it, and they were fuming like the whole show. I think I got about 25 grand.
That helps with the extension.
And I remember thinking at the time, I was like, oh my God, this is so good. Like, to me, it was so much money, and they were so cross at me. Like, but I was like, fuck it, I don't care. Like, you've literally used me and peddled me as your narrative. There's been so many stories about me and so many headlines, so I'm going to get something back from this now, so fuck off. And that was like the point. I kind of checked out, and I think that's probably then why they didn't ever ask me back to do it.
Yeah, I think it was that. And telling them to fuck off probably was the nail in the coffin, but fair play.
Yeah. Now you've got the last laugh because you're on Chatterbox.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Lord Sugar's not coming on Chatterbox, I can guarantee you that.
He is actually Monday.
He's coming week Monday. Sorry,
no.
You would have him if he would come.
No, not now. No, God, no.
No?
We know royalties. No.
No, you would, Joe.
I would totally if it got us up the chart. Can I ask one thing? We've taken up loads of your time, but your podcast is in a similar position in the charts to ours. Did you know that? Yeah.
I did. Do you know what? I'm so bad. I don't listen to any podcast. I don't listen to my own. And that podcast has been amazing. And the reason why we started that podcast is because I was a bit depressed. And after I had a baby, and I was so bored, and I said to Anna, I'd gone on her podcast, which is about mum stuff, and I really enjoyed it. And I said, oh, I want to do a podcast. Give me something to do. Will you do it with me? And she was like, yeah, go on then. Like, match how most podcasts start. So we just did it. And then I don't know why it's become really successful. Like, we're going on tour. It's amazing. We got a sellout tour.
Yeah,
wow.
all right.
Yeah, you're consistently ahead of us. My question to you,
guys come and do the warm up?
That's yes, we will for the right amount of money.
With our tops off.
Not like a Chippendale kind of podcast.
Are you doing a tour? Are you? Yeah. Okay.
We chat about it and we'll never do it.
We originally did it in 2020, and of course the whole thing got cancelled. And then we rescheduled it to 2021, and then I was like, this just isn't going to happen. So we pulled it again. And now 2022, which has been great because actually our listenership and our, we call them Lufanians, the people that listen to our podcast, like believers.
As a Chatter Biscuits.
Really?
Yeah.
And that audience has grown. So now it's an even bigger tour with bigger venues. So it's been really good. Yeah, really good. But it's a hard slog.
What a piece of piss that is. Just walk on stage.
Well, you think that,
go home.
But because I'm tight, David, I decided that we didn't need to get a production company to arrange our tour.
Joe would be like that.
Absolutely.
I was like, there's no way. I was like, I'm not giving any money away. We can do this ourselves. So Anna and I started Luana Productions, and we basically, I say we, Anna does just show up. I and our agent, and I've got a couple of girls that work for me, have planned the tour, which is great because we then, I wouldn't do it if I was giving like 30% to someone. I just could be arsed.
Would you come on this again and help us plan our tour?
Yeah.
Because we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Can we basically take your
I'll charge you 60%.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Actually, do you know what? If someone can get it to happen, I think that's fair.
It's so easy. You guys should do it, honestly.
It means leaving the house and whatnot, doesn't it? Though that's the trouble.
Yeah.
We're not great at that. Do you ever obsess about your chart position?
No,
of course you don't. No,
I don't even know.
Nor do we.
Where are you? How
well,
do
you're
you
above.
even
You're
see
generally
that?
above us.
Let's tell you where you are. You're 19th or 11th.
Oh, really? How do you see that?
Because I check it every morning when I wake up. Before I say good morning to my wife, I check the chart.
Honestly, there's an app called checkthechart.com. No,
that's not. Is that?
No, there isn't.
Basically, you're currently 19th. Yeah, we're you basically go to Apple Podcasts, then there's top charts, then you go to the top and change all categories to comedy, then you press all. And I can do that all under a second. Pardon?
Yeah.
Wait,
you go
no,
top
we're
chart.
not 19th.
Yeah, you go to comedy. Yeah, comedy.
Oh, you're looking at all categories.
Oh, don't go all categories. That's depressing. Go just comedy.
I'm in all categories. I was number 1 in all categories once.
Were you?
Well, yeah. You got to stay there. That's the trick.
Yeah, that's the hard thing.
To be fair, this is the first time we've ever been ahead of you.
I'm 19th.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're 11th.
You're generally ahead of us.
I find it strange that we're even comedy, because we're not funny. That's what I find weird.
Yeah, we should go in the vanilla section.
But I always think, why are we a comedy podcast? But clearly, there is a magic that works for all of us.
It's working. But yeah.
Well, I'm going to plug my podcast on yours then. Yeah. Mine is called Luana, the podcast.
There we go.
Go and listen. Let me steal some of your Chatter Biscuits. Is that
what did you call them? Chatter what?
Chatter Bixers.
That'll do. Chatter Bixers. Yeah, Chatter Bixers. Yeah. And we'd like to steal some of your, what are they? Foo-foo?
Lufanians.
Lufanians.
I think they'd hate us.
Yeah.
Why? What do you... Well, we're quite rude.
We're full of shit. Oh, really?
So are we. Yeah, well, ours is quite rude.
Oh, we should do a mashup.
And very swearing.
Yeah, do you want to do a mashup?
Yeah. Should we do a one-off special?
Yeah, let's do a one-off summer special.
And we will support you on tour. Genuinely, I'm prepared to do that.
Okay,
Kicks
well, you
off
heard that if.
April the 29th is our first date.
Where is
No,
that?
they're all London in Bush Hall. It's only small. I wish I would have
I know
gone
Bush
like
Hall, yeah.
bigger.
That holds
too-
200 or 300, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's sold out in an hour. 300. We've got 3 dates at Bush Hall, and they all sold out in about honestly an hour. It's actually I do recommend doing a tour. I can't wait to get on the stage, but I wish I would have gone for bigger venues because it's sold out. The whole tour sold out. 15 dates.
That would stress me out booking a tour and then not seeing the ticket sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you do.
We'd bring up your ticket sales a hell of a lot. We'd be going, God, Louisa's sold out immediately. Why is ours not selling out? We're 11.
You would. No, you would sell out because it's cool, isn't it? People want to come and see you live.
Yeah.
We sing songs and stuff, so ours is like a bit like.
So do we actually. We sing shanties. We sing the occasional shanty with our friend Vivian. So if you want to hear a shanty, listen to Wednesday's episodes.
Anyway,
Okay.
Look, we should let you go. Sorry, we've taken up so much.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Really lovely meeting you.
And if you want to do a mashup, we should make it happen.
Let's mash up. Let's do a summer mashup.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll video it as well.
100%. Yeah.
I'll take my top off.
Yeah, I won't.
I'll take mine off.
Hey, this is happening, guys. Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Lovely to meet you.
Amazing.
Thanks,
so brilliant.
Guys. Have a
lovely day.
Yeah, have a
Take
lovely
care.
day. See you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thanks again.